Then Bushmaster comes over, and I guess because Bushmaster is doing a bunch of cartwheels and flipping, because it looks...
Capoeira.
No,
It's capoeira.
It's Jim Carter. Remember Jim Carter?
The closest thing I could say is capoeira.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even then, it's not so much that he's this big martial artist. It's that it looks nice.
Welcome everybody. Spinnerack's in the house. The trio's here. We got Carlson to my left. We got Peterson to the right.
He forgot who I was again.
Get your name.
He
Today,
forgot it again.
today we're talking about Luke Cage. We're gonna break this up. Well, Luke Cage. The first 2 episodes.
No, we're doing the whole thing. Ain't no more. No one's talking about this, so we're finishing it. We're ending this Luke Cage thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
We're going to be talking about Luke Cage, and you will see it in the manner in which we present it to you. But we're going to be
Yes.
talking about Luke Cage. So consider this like the first part of a long journey, or the second part of a long journey on what we would like to call a Luke Cage exegesis.
Oh my
Who's up?
gosh. I gotta say, I'm gonna have to pass this on to you because I cannot say the only positive things I can say about Luke Cage are the villains and the very end.
Well, I'll start this off because I can be critical without trashing this or torching it.
No, I don't know.
You want to start?
No, you go.
That's what I thought.
You go.
Okay. Now, the biggest issue, overall, I think season 2 was a markedly much better season than season 1. But the problems of season 1 still remain. And what's the biggest problem of season 1 and season 2? Luke Cage. That is the biggest problem for me. Look at Luke Cage as opposed to Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth's character was completely developed, and even though they took him out, he was still much more of what I would expect from the character that he's supposed to be, a villain, motivation, what he wants to get done, than Luke Cage. Let's go to season 2 with Black Mariah. Same thing. We get a whole host of building with her, and Luke Cage is almost like a foil for her at the end of the day, and it's his show. We have no conspicuous, and I mean conspicuous motivation for Luke Cage. His father's thrown on the show.
Why?
But we can get into that. So we can get into that later. His father's on the show. We get nothing out of that, and then he's taken off before I think anything actually happens. He's in this relationship with Claire. That goes. She jets on him pretty quickly, and at the end of the day, he is very two-dimensional, and that's what superheroes are not supposed to be at the end of the day. So now I'm looking forward to season 3. Why? Because it seems like they've set him up to become a villain. And so far, the first 2 seasons of Luke Cage have been about the villains, not Luke Cage. And the biggest problem, where does it stem from? They don't want to go to the source material. Just read the first issue. Just read the first issue of Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. We've never got to see the hero for hire aspect of Luke Cage. They went straight into making him this hero of Harlem. No, we never got to see Luke Cage as like, look, I'm doing this stuff, but I need the money. I need the money. Why? Because I'm on the run. I'm trying to stay on the low. I'm trying to prove my innocence. I need the money. The whole man on the run, man undercover, trying to prove his innocence, they threw all of that away to make him this hero. If you, what was this? I think it was Luke Cage number, was it number? Let me even say the number because I can't remember. But it's a great issue where Luke Cage is hired by Dr. Doom. And most people were like, Dr. Doom from Latveria? Oh no, I'm not going to work for Dr. Doom. Luke Cage said, hey, I'm going to do the job as long as I get paid. Luke Cage didn't get paid. Do you know what he did? He got on a plane. He got on a plane to go to Latveria to go fight Dr. Doom. Why? Because he didn't get paid. Because he didn't get paid. That was great. He was different than the other characters at the time. Okay, he was not a superhero. He was a mercenary. He wanted and needed to get paid, and that led for some really good stories. He was interacting with all this other stuff, but the bottom line is he would have saved the whole of Harlem and still been sitting down saying, "Sweet Christmas, I didn't get a dime for any of this." He was a hero for hire. You could have done that, developed the first season. Second season, you could have said, "Okay, now we're going to do more of the heroic stuff. Power Man." Bring that into it. In third season, it would have been, heroes for hire along that type of line if I had done anything. But that, for me, is the biggest thing that's going on with the series. I think you have competent acting, if not stellar acting overall. But Luke Cage, he's the big thing hanging out. It's been 2 seasons, and now, I don't think he's going to be fully developed until season 3.
I gotta agree with you there. I mean, the weakest part of the show, and I'm not necessarily knocking Mike Coulter. It's just the way they're characterizing his character. It's that, you're not feeling, look, if he's supposed to be a hero in Harlem, he has no job. What is he doing? How does he pay for Pop's place? There's nobody cutting hair. There's nobody doing
but
anything.
you're
You know what
going.
I'm trying to
A
say?
lot of times, some of that stuff isn't hashed out, and we go into the suspension of disbelief. But
They're
you
they're
have a
selling-
point. You have a point.
They're
but
selling,
it's
they're
a
selling
part of
his
shirts
t-shirts
and
stuff
all
like
that other stuff.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
I'm saying it's not. It's
if you
not,
compare, but I'm saying if you
it's not-
compare it to some of the other shows that you see, Daredevil, he's doing his law
Daredevil
show.
barely does any.
But
in
they
the, movie,
still-
in the,
they're
TV, in
still
the
working.
comics, he was a
Right, but even in the
active
show,
lawyer.
they have him as
In
an
the
active lawyer in the
show,
show. They have
he always
Jessica
missed.
Jones as an investigator.
And he just
people
lost his
are making,
job.
People are trying to make a living. Then you have no sense of that at all. There's no sense that he's hungry. I think there's a scene in one of the episodes with the money guy, the guy who's working for Black Mariah. Remember his name? Forgot his name. He was. He
Danny
hired-
Rand is provider of all the people in the show. So
If they say
he
that,
gives-
if they say that,
Including
if they
Daredevil?
explain that, then it'll be fine.
Daredevil too now.
If
because
he
he's
said
the
that, then
defender.
that's fine. Then that explains a lot. But I'm saying you have this time when he's hired to basically protect this dude, and then the guy makes him into a big showpiece in I think it was episode.
No, that
5 or
was-
6.
that
Right.
was the
And then he
best
says,
one.
and he's
That
like, well,
was my
if you want me to
favorite.
do more for you, basically, you're gonna have to pay me more. But yet he doesn't
Yes,
insist. Why don't you
that's
wire
it.
the money into my account? He doesn't
No,
insist.
that's the thing.
what I'm trying-
They should have had the
Well,
payoff
right,
because it
that's
was
what
like
we
they're
should've done.
playing. They're playing too
The
much
big
to
kicker,
the hero.
the big
thing.
kicker on that was, did he ever get paid?
That's
That's
what.
what
But
they're
it's like
saying.
Did he ever get paid?
But
That's
it's not
what
like.
I'm saying.
But he's saying it's not like he really was looking for a payment. He said, "Well, you're gonna have to pay me
No,
more." But he doesn't. He doesn't even push
He
it.
asked for the money. The guy went on a run. I think that they pushed it too far and had him get captured, and then they took him out so they could like somehow.
never
sign him
got
or
But
something.
I'm saying
paid.
in this
But
day
it
and
was-
age,
actually, it's not
Luke
gonna-
Cage in the comic would have been like, damn. he's
transfer
like,
the money.
is this guy dead? He's like,
Yeah,
what do you mean
it
is he
should-
dead? I didn't get paid.
Right.
I put out this
So
time.
that was a
Alright.
big issue there. Okay. What were you going to say about that issue, P.D.?
No, I
you
don't.
agree?
I'm
Of course you
saying
do.
I like that I like when he was going for the money and he was up in the ante, and it was like that worked within this guy who's a a hustler, and I didn't like that character in the beginning,
Piranha.
but that whole scene.
Piranha.
Piranha was doing where he was just acting like a complete fool. Like, I was like, look at this scene, and he was just hilarious, and through the whole party,
Yeah.
and the gun, everything sort of worked. That was one of my favorite episodes of this season.
You see, but I thought in the beginning they kind of threw us off because I thought Piranha was going to be the one stealing all of Mariah's money.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he was going to be loyal to her.
With the name like Piranha, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That
They
was
set it up.
That was a
And-
red herring.
And it was
if
a
there
real
was.
good thing that you find out, no, he's not. But again,
And he
why
talks
he
to
tries
the European girls like they can't speak no English. All right, I'm gonna go upstairs. Just watch the front. Just watch
Just
the
go
front.
right
with
here.
me.
Don't let anybody come up. And then he tried to because he figured he's paying for Luke Cage, he can just have people just shoot him, just out of the blue, taking advantage of him.
Yeah,
And I
that
said-
was a very good. Again, that was a good episode. And if we look at Luke Cage's character, even in contrast to Piranha's character is fully developed. We get a backstory from him. We understand why it is that how he gets to where it is. We understand about his father, motivation, and he's fully in character. Luke Cage is there. And he's like, hey, shoot this dude. Everything for him is just a big kick. He's like, this is just, a really fun time. I'm not paying too much serious attention. It's about girls, some drink. I got this superhero over here. I'm living the high life. Why? And we know exactly why. Because his dad went belly up, okay? And he fought and scratched. So now he's going to enjoy the high life. He's going to enjoy the money. That's where he's coming
And
from.
he's loyal to Mariah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
In spite of everything, he's loyal.
Yeah.
Okay. So characterization is a really big characterization. I've never seen this on a show before, where literally the titular character is playing not even second, but like third string
I
to
wouldn't-
everybody else
I
at this
wouldn't-
point.
I wouldn't say
Even a
that.
third
I
string
wouldn't say
character.
that. I get saying that the development of the other characters, but I think Luke Cage throughout this series, this one was more man of action. They did have some stuff with him and his father, and I liked the actor who, rest in peace, who
Yes.
played his father. And I didn't think that was going to work out as well, but having that tension worked out a lot, and that, it's bad to compare and contrast, but way better than what happened in Jessica Jones with the mother. Like having them have the tension and then come to an understanding, not to, hey, I just do it every since because I miss my father. But I think he's just basically being played as a man of action, and there's a lot of shows where the lead character who comes in, takes out everything, beats up everyone, is pretty much a straightforward guy, like in a Western.
Right.
So that's the way they were sort of playing it. And I get that, I do understand that some of the things that I really, because the characters weren't that, the development wasn't that great, because even, the Bushmaster, they have all this backstory, but it's like, is not that big of a deal. Like
Well,
you're
we'll
trying
get
to-
we'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
But they have all of that. But then
But hold on a second, Pete. So you're trying to say you thought the relationship between him and his father was really fleshed out?
I didn't talk about flesh out. I just wanted
You
to.
got-
I wanted them to be. I wanted them to be at odds, and they were at odds for most point until they're in the building where they're almost going to get
I
gunned
don't- I
down.
just thought that
So I
entire-
wanted them to be. I
I
didn't
thought
want
that
them to
whole
be
thing-
worked out that easy.
I got it. I get that. But I just thought it was all contrived. He came from wherever they were before. He showed up, and then he's preaching to him, and and then all of a sudden they don't really get along. But then they start working together. I just didn't really believe that whole thing at all. It did not work for me.
I don't know.
It
I
What
think-
about-
started
what you?
No, it started off, and I liked the premise that he was going to be in the pulpit, and like, yeah, but who is Luke Cage? And okay, then it's his dad, and I was like, okay, let's see where we go with that. They never went anywhere with it.
Nothing.
It
I
never,
don't
it
know
didn't.
if it
They didn't
had
go
to
anywhere
go.
with
I
it.
mean, I don't
The
know
only
if it had
person
to
who
go
showed up,
anywhere,
the only
though.
person, the only reason why even we got any more of it is because Claire showed up. I mean, the people who should have been, if any foils or if any really good supporting characters for him, should have been Claire and his dad. And there was just it didn't pan out with either one of them.
No.
With the dad, I never believed, because I just never believed that he really had this animosity towards him, because I was trying to understand what it was. Like, you ended up in prison, and he's like, well, you never came and saw me. And he said, yeah, your dad thought you were guilty.
Right.
Okay, your dad thought you were
Well,
guilty for whatever reason. That was a
And he
mistake on
blamed
his.
you for the mother dying.
That was a mistake on his part, and so on and so forth. Then with Claire, dude's under pressure, decides he's going to go put a hole in the wall. And she's like, well, I need to go back to the Dominican Republic and go sort things out. I'm like, so when this guy's at his lowest, that's when you pack up and leave? I was like,
Well,
no, I didn't buy it.
I'm
Didn't buy
okay
it.
with that because that's how I don't like how they broke it up, and then she's out the series
Yeah.
completely. I'm under. I mean,
She was
right-
out the country.
But I'm saying that if you have a situation with, I mean, this is how these things. He's pushing her out, and she did try to stay in that fight. She could see he was pushing him out, and he kept pushing. And they're gonna leave. If you want to push someone out, and that scene played okay with me. I just didn't expect
easy.
her to be
No,
out.
it was exactly.
completely.
I mean, this is the woman.
She
who-
hung around with-
Like
she
six
hung
times
around-
they're fighting.
Yeah, exactly. She hung around with Daredevil, Jessica Jones. She's over here fighting
Yeah,
Ninja
but they
with
were in a
Daniel Rand.
relationship.
He punches a hole in the wall, and she's like, no, I got to go back to
That
DR.
I
wasn't
mean, it's
it.
not even
That
the hole in
wasn't
the
what
wall wasn't a
happened.
big thing.
He
The
did
fact
punch
that-
the hole
yeah.
in the wall, but they were arguing
Right, but that
every
argument,
episode.
that argument really wasn't an argument. It was like something that
She was leaving at that point.
I got the point that she was leaving, but I'm saying, did you really feel that this was an argument worthy of leaving? There's certain levels of arguments like, oh my gosh, this is really not working out. And this, and he,
I
it's
think
like
that
he was
depends
being
how
stubborn.
quickly she went out of the show.
Right, but I'm saying,
is more of
he
the
was
issue
so
than
stubborn
saying-
with her versus any other time. You know what I'm trying to say? He lets Black Mariah walk over him. He lets Bushmaster trick him and walk over him. But her, he's being tough. Finally, yeah, I'm going to be the power man now.
Yes.
And you can go. And I'm
I
like,
don't know,
what the
that's
hell?
Well, he had to be tough, because I think
That's
she was only
weird.
contracted for so many episodes, so she had to go.
But you know what? I liked her, and the way they cut her out the show
Yes,
sucks.
That's
That
the-
is crap.
That would be
That, I
more the
think-
issue, saying she's a good, solid character.
solid character.
There's no reason to have her exit. And then, because they're playing more to Misty and
Tilda.
and it was weird that all the stuff that was going on with her. Because is she in the police or is she out of the police? Like she keeps going. She's like, nope, I'm going on my own, and now she's back with them. And so it was,
See, I like Tilda's character.
I like Tilda
From start to finish,
I like
I like
Tilda's
Tilda.
no, I like Tilda.
We're
in the
agreeing. I
beginning,
don't know
not
what the
at
hell's
the
going
end.
on.
Not when she became, what she became.
I mean, Nightshade.
No
Not yet.
way.
Hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
She's
No,
a Stokes,
that's
100%, not even 50%.
That is
Hey,
terrible.
Black Mariah killed Cottonmouth.
No, that's
Tilda, Nightshade kills
We're in the
Black Mariah.
1980s again.
Yeah.
It's like what's the name? It's like what's the name? The kid who was harassed by Jason.
It was Godfather.
then
Kiss,
becomes
she gave him the
Jason.
kiss of death.
Kiss
Gave her
of
the
death.
kiss of death.
Oh, that's.
So, let's talk about
but her-
Tilda's character. I mean,
It was
Tilda-
Godfather 3.
I mean, the
it
interest-
wasn't. Don't try to connect it to Godfather 2 or 1. What they got to the end, they did a scene from Godfather 1, but this is totally Godfather 3.
Did Godfather 2 with the kiss of death, and then there was other scene from
No,
Godfather
but
1.
it still played as if it was
Where Kate
Godfather
realizes
3.
she's a dupe.
It still didn't play and didn't feel real. It had no weight to it.
Yeah, just
That's
to you.
why I had to say.
It was just to you.
To
So what
you,
about-
that's
so
get out
The
of
rest
here.
of us,
No.
we felt it.
Right,
What
so-
did you
Who
feel?
felt
I
it?
felt
Hands
it.
up.
Yeah, get out
Hands
of
up.
here.
Thank you.
And he didn't even see it.
Listen, so what did you think about Tilda's character
Lies.
coming into the show? Did it
Tilda's
help?
character coming in,
I thought
one,
it
it
was
came from out.
excellent.
It came from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the
No,
actress,
she was a good actress.
the actress,
up
the whole
until the
storyline,
end.
worked. You know, the whole work worked very well. The only
Why?
part that I
How
thought
does
was
it work?
contrived.
How does it work?
What do
The
you
only
mean
part that
how
I
it
thought was
worked?
contrived with her
Correlation
being
Joined with
she happened to be the
Bushmaster.
one store that Bushmaster, who's a villain,
Yeah.
and she happens to be the one store where he can go find the nightshade that she happens to need. But you know, the whole dynamic, because again, it's the same thing playing out once more, where she's like, "Look, I'm trying to get away from you. You're terrible. I know what you're all about." And it's that same theme of, look, you can't get, you can't get away from what you are. As
But
far as
that
you're trying to
doesn't
do this,
make
you
any
can't get away
sense,
from what you
though.
are. And then I love that
makes
whole
no
scene
sense.
with
PD,
Black
I
Mariah
don't
and
understand where you're
Matilda.
coming from, bro.
I love the scene with Black Mariah and Matilda where she just finally breaks it down. She says, "Look, I never loved you. It's like, I never loved you. I
my
tried."
gosh,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
That
this
was
is-
like
that's
mean.
the
That was like
worst.
nothing a mother
It
should
was
say, and she
mean, but it was
just
terrible.
laced it in.
It
Are
was
you
terrible.
kidding me? That
For
was
her,
great.
Her characterization, but her becoming a villain, become Nightshade. There's no.
No,
jumping
no,
the gun.
no.
She
That's
hasn't
two
become
different
villain.
things.
That's
That's two different
That's
things.
what I'm
That's
having
it.
issue. I don't mind.
Her be-
I'm saying
because
those
we don't know if
scenes
she's
are
become a
fine.
villain, or we don't know if she's
Exactly.
become a villain or
That's
not.
true.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
but it definitely
When
gave
you
her an
saw
impetus to
when
hurt
they
her
had-
mother.
When they read the will and gave everything to Luke Cage, and she came looking like Nightshade from the comic book, looking like a Frank
Well,
Robin.
Misty
artist.
came,
But she-
Misty came looking like she was going to be in Heroes for Hire the next season, and she ran right back to being a cop. So we can't
So-
we can't jump the
We
fence
can
that
jump
much.
to
Look, what we did see. What
no,
we did
her
see
connection with her connection with Bushmaster and her feeling for Bushmaster more. I can understand hating her, but then basically saying these two people are both terrible. So her helping him after they just had him, pinned
Okay,
in the
but
building.
but she
And
explained why, and she said,
there's no explanation
Hold
when
on,
he tried to
she's-
kill them.
Right, but she said it's
perfect explanation.
What
She has no
did,
grounding.
What she did to Bushmaster's family, where her mother burnt a Nazi, killed everybody in the
After
restaurant.
trying, that doesn't
right?
give you. All right, you're saying to me
That-
if I try to kill you and you find out what my struggle was, you'll be understanding.
No, I'm just saying it was the degree of it. She was like, my mother is a monster beyond compare. Everything. I mean, this is. I mean,
And that's where it
what-
plays in. She doesn't have any grounding. Okay,
She
what do
has,
most
she has
most
grounding
people
in the person that they
most
we saw.
people, even if you heard something horrible about your parent, as long as your parent were good to you, you'd probably still fight tooth and nail. You would reject it. She has no connection. She has no connection to her mom to the point where she can go and entertain this type of stuff with Bushmaster. Okay, that's how distant it is. And then I love that Mariah just drove that last nail in the coffin of any relationship they get. I never loved you. I tried. You were born out of this disgust. I could never look at you and separate the whole thing. And you know Mariah's going to come later on and try to get her back in the whole field. But you can't walk that back at the end of the day.
and I love how that connected to what happened to Cottonmouth in season 1.
Yep, all of that.
Very good. Great job with the villains, my friend.
Excellent job with the villains.
Only
Excellent.
one I like was Mariah's mother. Because Mariah's mother, when they were in Jamaica, and
Big, what's her name again?
th-
I can't remember.
Aunt
she-
Big-
But
Big
she
Mom? No,
she
not
had
Big
they,
Mom.
they,
Yeah.
they have a terrible picture of her in
Yeah.
Mariah's house,
Right.
and I was watching it and cracking up. When we see her and they're talking to the Bushmaster's family, and her and the husband are just laughing at
No, that's
them.
Pete. That's Pete.
Oh, Pete, they're just
Pete, Uncle
laughing
Pete.
at him. That cracked me
Was
up.
it Mama
so
Mabel?
much.
Mama Baby.
Yeah.
She was just
Or Mama Mabel.
totally terrible and loving it, like happy about
Yeah.
it, no sort of thing. And that's sort of the villain I really like. And then when she burns the house and the son is the Bushmaster's running out as a kid,
But you see, and
those scenes really
originally
played
when
well.
they
And she
showed
just
her-
happened to be there at the scene of the crime, right? You love that.
yeah, yeah.
That you love. Okay.
Because she just
So
what?
what is-
she
but-
just she's just evil for no good reason. She's
No.
she's doing what she wants to
But
do.
we see that the whole setup between why Bushmaster came back is that there was a deal between Bushmaster's father and Mabel's husband, right? And what happens is that the Mabel's husband kills the father, and they lose all their stuff there in Harlem. You know, they had Bushmaster rum and Harlem's Paradise, right? So he feels that was his birthright. Then not only that, they have to go back to Jamaica where he is the family. Their mother's a maid in the restaurant, and they're trying to make some type of compromise. And what they do is they turn around and they end up firebombing his house, killing his mother. Therefore, he loses everything, burning him, and he's forced to go to what? Some witch doctor who then gives him the.
Well, they killed his
gives him-
mother in the house, and then later
Right.
on they tried to kill him.
That's right. they
But
tried-
we
tried-
also
that's
have that
But that's how
Bushmaster
character
tried to
development.
Bushmaster tried to burn Mariah and Tilda. Then they had him caught in the building trying to kill them.
Right.
And then Tilda was upset because what's her name? Mariah killed all the people in Jamaican restaurant.
The way that Tilda's
and said,
looking
"How
at
do
it,
you- how
Tilda's
could you
looking
do
at it that if
You're
you
like,
had
come
not,
on.
Tilda's looking at it as if you had been straight with these people, and just giving them the fair share of whatever they deserve,
she knew
I
he
would
was
not be in this
bad.
house trying to be burned down. I would not be in
This
this.
is all
I would
because
not
of
be
your mother,
here.
right?
She
I would not
already
be
knew
here.
her mother was
So she puts
bad,
all the
though.
blame on her mother.
She look at this. If
She didn't know her
went-
mother did that.
When she went to the thing, she knew her mother was terrible, right? That's when she came in the show and she was like, wanted to see her, and she was like saying, I'm trying to reform. So we already know there's a ton of stuff bad. So it wasn't like, she already had to, that'd be totally unbelievable if she's like saying, well, I didn't know how bad she was. But if we go in that far, the stuff that Bushmaster did, no matter how many times, it's not just them, it's people in the neighborhood, it's everything that he's doing that's terrible, cutting people's heads off, and she's still siding with this guy. So we're just
That's
putting,
how much
No,
she
well,
hates
we're
her mother.
Right.
we're
When the person
compartmentalizing-
who births you tells you,
Not just-
I never loved you, I never wanted
But you side
you're a
with
part
the-
of. It's
you
a revenge.
no,
you're
that's not-
you're
there's no-
hitting
she
back.
didn't
You're
have
hitting
her-
back.
she-
You're hitting
she
back.
saved
You
him.
got everything that you need right there. She
got
doesn't
nothing.
have the foundation necessary to make good decisions.
She made the good decision
What was
in
the-
all the stuff she did up to this point.
Up to this
Right,
point.
but her mother pulls
and
the
then her
rug
mother
out.
pulls her back
She
in
says,
and it
no,
all goes to
the
hell.
guy
She
who's
came
her
in
father
the
is
show-
not her father. Where you
she
came from.
She
I
came
never-
to the show for the mother to prove herself. It wasn't for her to learn anything. She wasn't, because she was an adult. And the difference is, she didn't come as a person needing something. She
Right.
said, "Hey, this is your last shot," and we turned it into what
And
television
that
does all
she
the
took
time.
the last shot and it was right at her. It was right at
Yeah,
Matilda.
that's what.
Yeah. So again, now let's get back to Bushmaster. What did you guys think about the characterization of Bushmaster?
He was okay.
From his early history. I mean, one thing that threw me off at the beginning is that he was the Stokes. But then when you see the backstory, it really encapsulates what exactly, why he hates them so much.
Stokes.
But he
Stokes.
doesn't.
Mariah
But he's still a,
Stokes.
But he's still a villain when he's fighting and he beats up Luke Cage the first time. Then they have this big fight. Luke Cage is ready.
He
and
sucker
he
punched him.
cheats.
He
Then
sucker
cheats.
punched him.
Yeah.
So it's
Cage
like-
is walking out
and
of
people
nowhere and
still liking him.
he just canes him. He's like, what's that?
Yeah. So it's like I'm saying, but you got the first fight, and I'm not trying to get into what happened. It's just like he wins this, then they have another fight. He doesn't have this thing with Luke Cage. He's just saying, I want for bragging rights to beat him, and then now I'm just going to kill him, and then now we're buddies again. It's like he just dropped. He didn't know Luke Cage was going to survive the, being dropped.
I was disappointed in the initial fights with him and Bushmaster because we saw in the first season that Luke Cage is a very competent fighter. He was in prison. He was doing that, that underground fight club that they had in prison. He's literally, if you lose, you're pretty much going to die. You got to win in order to come out of this thing. And he didn't have his powers at that time. And they were showing that he was a good fighter. Good fighter in those situations. Then Bushmaster comes over, and I guess because Bushmaster is doing a bunch of cartwheels and flipping, because it looks
Capoeira.
It's capoeira.
It's Jim Cotta. Remember Jim Cotta?
the closest thing I could say is capoeira.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even then, it's not so much that he's this big martial artist. It's that it looks nice. It looks nice. He's flipping around and stuff. But Luke Cage, if you remember, in season 1, episode 4, he was fighting guys who could do that type of stuff, who were throwing kicks and they looked flashy, and he was still taking them out. Why is this guy, causing him any sort of problem?
He's
So
got
I did have an
lazy.
issue with
He
that.
hasn't been.
Oh
practicing
my
that.
gosh,
He's
he's
got lazy. That's
been
what I mean.
walking down the street.
He's been fighting since season 1. I
Fighting
can't
what?
give him that.
Razorback.
Oh.
He
The
hasn't been
shot, he's been fighting. It's not that he hasn't been fighting. But aside of that, the biggest problem I had, this may be a good segue into, I guess, our closing episode, were those Jamaican accents. They were driving
we
me
started
up
on
the
this.
Okay.
wall.
So here.
It was
I
so
actually
bad.
spoke to Jamaicans about this, many Jamaicans, and they were not bothered by the accent.
They were not Jamaicans.
No,
They were
no, they
Jamaicans.
are. No, the difference is that what's the name? Jamaicans also have this thing when you're trying to do an accent, they're okay because they want you to try to be like them. They're okay with that. I've seen that happen.
We had that discussion.
No,
with the
we had
people
a discussion
with
but no.
Jamaicans.
What,
and they were-
at your
yeah,
job?
and those guys were like, "Yo, it's no problem." I mean, you can't get any more Jamaican than some of them. You know
No,
what I'm trying to say?
I remember being in college and
One guy was doing the accent and he couldn't maintain it. He dropped it
Well,
towards the end.
I'm
He was
gonna-
like,
I'm saying, look, they're not complaining.
so,
we're not
so what is it?
complaining.
So you come Mariah and you do this and you do that with your bimbo bubble club, and
They
he's like,
had-
now let's all go around the corner and go kill these dudes. I was like, this is terrible. I mean,
No,
they
but
tried
at
to
least
keep the
had
vernacular.
Luke Cage. Luke Cage.
They tried to keep
Bumbleclot, Rasclot.
They did,
Cage.
they did their best to keep the vernacular.
Closet.
Okay, they did their best to keep the vernacular, and you know, but it was just, I was like,
Mariah
man, this is
Stokes,
bad.
Bring the cassette with the cassette. Bring the cassette.
Is it rotted?
She's gonna
Which-
burn.
What is it? Your brethren. Your brethren.
Brethren.
Good grief, man. Those accents were
The
just horrible.
dynasty.
Well, look, I'm just saying. I suppose Jamaicans they gave it the pass. And so
No, but
Yeah, I
they're
spoke to
okay with
Jamaicans
people
too. They
trying to
said
copy.
no. Some people said yes. Some people said no. So it's not a matter of going to, like, I can't go to one Jamaican or 10 Jamaicans and say, okay, fine, you guys are going to be the authority over here for it. I'm watching the show, and when somebody has an accent on, and that accent can't be maintained for the full line of dialogue, for the full line, look, I understand. I have seen bad Jamaican accents before. They're all over the place.
From
What's the one with Steven Seagal? What's the film?
Mark for Death. But
Yes.
I have to know,
Hey,
before you
Jamaicans
say that.
love that film also?
Yeah, and those
love
accents are
that,
horrible.
And Black African Americans loved it. So
yeah. So
Sorry to
It's
say.
not a matter of loving the film. The accents are horrible.
no, it's
You
a,
got
it's
Mark
a
for
sad
Death.
day because he goes to Jamaica and he kicks Jamaica's
Mark for
behind.
Death, Mighty Quinn, another round of
Nothing
horrible
wrong with-
accents.
No,
I
not
like the Mighty
Horrible.
Quinn. Mighty Quinn has a ton of
Best
regular
Jamaican accent of all time was Predator 2
No,
with the
no, it
Jamaicans
is
who broke in and
not.
killed that dude.
No.
Those accents were on
Come
par. I think because the guy was Jamaican. He's killing the guy. The guy's he's upside down. He's like, don't kill me. What do you want? I'll give you money. And I'll do my worst Jamaican accent. He's like, this is not about money. It's about power. And I was like, yeah, that's good. That's it.
We like the
He's got it.
inflection, but I don't know.
That's great.
and so we move on.
We do have to correct. We have to correct because the last one we did, we said the music was all hip hop, and it was not all hip hop.
No, we said it wasn't all hip hop.
No, it's in there. It
Yeah,
says
hip-hop
it's all
is
hip
in it,
hop.
yeah.
No, there's
Rock
some
and
hip
shit.
No, I
hop.
didn't say it was all hip hop. I said it was all like quote unquote. Look, this is aimed at one audience. It's going to be hip hop, R&B,
Jazz.
blues, jazz. We won't hear a rock tune. We won't hear any pop. That'll be it.
See it, and then it becomes the same thing. It's only one type of music. It's only one type of music I'm hearing, and then it becomes a typecast black show. This is the type of music you're going to hear. Black people listen to all types of music. You can throw some more music in there.
They threw KRS-One up in there.
There's nothing.
Let's do rock him up there.
Love's gonna get ya.
They
Love
had
gonna get ya.
The one thing though about the music is that I thought that
all
with
of those artists
genres,
that they had in there.
why didn't they have
all those
better
classic-
music though? I just felt that the music was just
All those
underwhelming.
classic artists, forget it. All right.
If you want a classic artist, why couldn't we get Living Color and they'll do Cult of Personality? Those are
Okay,
classic
I get
artists.
that, but I'm saying what
No,
about the
this is
song?
just now we're going into choice of what someone likes. And
Damn
saying,
right.
"Look,
It's what I like and
see,
it's
that's
my
what-
choice.
Okay, so then
That's
you know
what
what,
it
you can
is.
take
See?
that. If you like
That's where you
choice.
go.
You like those songs? Rock it. We have our own.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Petey, since you have such an issue with a lot of our choices, what else do you want to see?
I think
You wanna point out?
this season for me was watchable. I ran out of the first season sort of ran out of steam after maybe I guess 5 or 6. I liked episode 4 of the last season. This one I was able to watch. The problem is Bushmaster also they had made him cut off his mustache. I'm looking at him saying, "What's wrong with this guy's face?" And I see him outside of the show, and I'm like, "He needs his mustache back." But anyway, in the way it ended, I didn't like him. I did like seeing Annabelle Sciorra in there. She was very good in there. But then when he's trying to make these business deals and they turned him into, I mean, you can see why they hired him as an actor because he was a drug dealer in The Good Wife. And now in this show, he basically becomes like a drug sort of guy in Harlem. And he's
I
controlling
don't know
it.
if he
for
becomes
what-
a drug sort of guy in
Come
Harlem. He
on,
becomes
he's
the
gonna-
boss of Harlem, and he
That's
controls.
the same thing.
No, he's not selling drugs. They keep the drugs out.
If drugs are the business, then he's the boss.
Yes.
No, but he's not doing the drugs.
Okay.
And he's controlling where the
Luke
this
Cage
is the
right- Luke
line.
Cage
This
right
is the
now-
lines where things go.
Luke Cage right now is the boss, and who's he dealing with? Drug dealers. So what's he doing? He's controlling. He's saying, look, this right over here, you can't deal the drugs over here. So you're dealing with these guys.
Yeah.
And that means you're also policing the drugs that are being dealt, because the drugs are still going to get in. So that means you're also policing the drugs that are going to be in your area. So
But you need someone to control it, and that's what whether you like Mariah Stokes or not.
He's
that was the whole
supposed to
thing.
go and just beat down the drug dealers. That's
Yeah,
why
but
he can
we
take-
know
that's
that.
why
But
he
they're
can take bullets.
changing it. So we gotta
For
go.
no
We gotta
good
roll with
reason.
those
We don't have
punches.
to
We gotta
roll with
roll with the
anything.
punches. We gotta
We
roll.
don't
with
have
it's
to
like
roll with that.
Frodo and the ring. Okay, the one ring. Everybody, what's they do? They get the ring, and everybody thinks they can use this ring, which does nothing but corrupt you. Okay, it's evil from start to finish, and everyone gets that ring and thinks somehow when they put it on, they're going to be able to use that ring to defeat Sauron. They're going to be able to use that ring to do good, and it fails for everyone. Okay, it's even Frodo who withstood it for the longest. That's it. Absolute power, with the exception of my character Superman, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Injustice too.
Agenda.
Justice. That's all I gotta say. Injustice.
Well, I think we have. I think we've hit the line. So hey, it's great being back. Haven't been able to like razzle dazzle, tough it out with these guys over here.
So
but
overall-
we've established who's right and who's wrong.
So overall,
Not this guy.
And
not
overall-
him either.
overall, did you like it?
Season's okay.
Would you
ended
recommend it
bad.
again?
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah, it was. If you enjoyed season 1, this was definitely an improvement on season 1. There's still, I think there's still some issues, some big issues, but it's not like I'm not going to sit down for season 3. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
I'm still, I don't know. There's so much good TV out there. I'm gonna watch it again most likely, but you know, reservation. It was very hard for me to go through all.
No, watch it
13
again. Well-
all not second season, the third season. I'm saying it was so hard to get through all 13 episodes. I'm hoping that
not
they do
as
something a
much.
little better.
No, I got through the episode. I got through the episodes okay.
No.
And the numbers on look, the numbers on the show were really good. So there's going to be a season 3 without a
What
doubt.
numbers? Netflix doesn't release numbers.
Are you kidding me? Well, we can talk about that later. But there will definitely be a season 3.
Okay, well, gentlemen, Spinner Rack, out.